Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to Naijha Speaks. My name is Naijha Wright Brown, co-owner of the Land of Kush Vegan Soul Bistro in Baltimore, Maryland, executive director of the Black Vegetarian Society of Maryland, and contributor for Jane Unchained News. Today's guest is a creative thinker and writer. Born in Haiti, she moved to the United States at the age of 6 and had to learn English as a second language where her love for writing stemmed. As a child, she began to use language to write her own narratives through song and poetry writing and writing short stories. Her passion for writing would lead her to Rutgers University, where she majored in English literature. Her dream has always been to write a book of poetry. Well, today her dream has come true. This guest hopes readers of her newly released book, Intimately Speaking, a book of poetry, will get lost in the words in order to find themselves. Walk away drawing your own meaning out of the writing and lean into a greater version of yourself. Listen up.
Wilderness. Standing in the middle of wilderness, trying to find you. Didn't know you were lost until I stopped hearing your voice. Asking, what are we going to discover today? The questions turned into statements, bank, mortgage, car, all statements. When did I lose you? We would go on adventure, travel, and discover new landscape. Now all we do is view logins and passwords. How did we get here? I think I see you. Wait for me, I'm back. Don't go. Let's travel inside our minds and create beautiful landscapes for the world to see, starting with this wilderness. Thank you for finding me. I can sleep happy now. I hug myself tight and say goodnight to the little girl inside and smile. Wilderness. Thank you.
And without further ado, introducing Ludy Wooten. What's up, Ludy? How you doing? It's been so long, man. It's
How are
good
you?
to see you. I'm doing fine. I'm doing better now that I see you. All right. Well, tell us what's going on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and let's get into this book. This book of poetry.
Well, like you mentioned, I was born in Haiti. I did come to the U.S. at the age of 6. I moved to New Jersey. That's where my parents were. I lived in New Jersey my childhood, my whole adult life. And then I moved to Maryland, and that's where I met you. I met you in Maryland. And I lived in Maryland for 12 years, and I now live in Georgia. I've been living here for the past 4 years.
Nice. How you liking it out in Georgia from leaving Maryland?
It's awesome. One of the main reasons that I moved out here about 5 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with oral cancer, and I wasn't really sure if he was going to make it, so that, kind of pushed me to want my children to be closer to their granddad. So thankfully, he's cancer-free. And we're close. He lives near. My mom lives near.
Thank you.
So because of that, it's been good. It's been good. My husband is here. My 2 children. So Georgia's been good to us.
I have to tell you, Ludy, now that you mentioned your husband, Donald Wooten, that connection, and it just shows you how working with community and working together can move people and achieve certain goals, because he was very instrumental in designing the logo for Vegan Soul Fest, which was the first vegan festival in Baltimore and is the premier vegan festival in Baltimore. We've been going 7 years, from designing the shirts and the bags and the banners and all that stuff. Like, he really did his thing with the creativeness of the Vegan Soul Fest brand. And he's also did my little Naijha Speaks logo local too, so I appreciate Don on his work. And plant-based or flexitarian, and I only ask that because we are on Naijha Speaks, and I'm usually covering food, culture, events, and people through a vegan and plant-based lens.
Flexitarian for sure. I do eat meat, but I am very health conscious of what I put in my body. I do a lot of smoothies, vegetables, but I do eat meat. But like I said, I'm very health conscious, pay attention to what it is that I'm putting in my body.
And I know when you all lived out in Baltimore, you were definitely loyal customers. We would see you and the family and little Dylan, who's now big, and Lyric, who's looking gorgeous and beautiful. So yeah, definitely appreciate the support.
11 years old. And for those that might have read the book already, there's a poem about him called No Instructions. And in one of the lines, it says, I see him going from 1 to 11. So, you know, dig into that poem. You'll get to learn a little bit more about my, you know, roller coaster of being a mom and my own to him.
I know. I commend you because I have one, you have two, and they grow up so fast. Let's talk about the book. What inspired you to write this particular poetry book? Because we know that was your dream, to write a poetry book, but this particular one, Intimately Speaking, where did that come from?
I've been saying for years that I've been wanting to write a book, and you know how we always put things off. We always say, oh, we'll get to it. And then the pandemic happened, right? And I said, why not now? Let me stop putting things off. And it was no time like the present to be present, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. So I have a network of great people that are authors, writers. My cousin, Jula, wrote a book. So I've been picking her brain, asking her questions to go through this process. I have a great friend, Karima McGee, who has written several books of her own. I'm always asking her questions. So I have a resource of people that I reach out to. I have great friends that have continuously encouraged me as I write, I share, and they give me their feedback. So this book was written by me, but I have had a village behind me, encouraging me, supporting me. And even my husband, he did the cover for the book. Speaking of him,
look at that. That is amazing. Yes. Look at that. Can I tell you something? I didn't know you were writing a book until he was working on the design for Naijha Speaks, and he showed me the picture of this cover, and I'm like, wait a minute, we got to get Ludy on the show. Like, this is amazing. Like, look, this is excellent. Yeah. This is beautiful. I love it. When you see this kind of, it makes you curious about what the book is about. This is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. And he, like, as much love as I've been getting about the poems, people have equally been giving me love about the cover. And, you know, I couldn't be more proud and tell people, you know, my husband designed it. And speaking of him, he designed the shirt that I'm wearing now, Naj. I don't know if I can share it with you.
Let's see that. Yeah, come on.
Sister Soldier fan. I don't know if we have Sister Soldier fans out there. So
wow. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yes, the coldest winter.
Yes. Midnight, all my Sister Soldier fans, y'all know. But yeah,
absolutely.
So that's basically why I started writing the book. Is like, why not now? Let me stop delaying and focus on now.
What challenges did you come across in writing this book? If any
challenge, there's always a challenge. If someone tells you they don't have challenges, they need to reevaluate them, because there's always challenges in good or bad situations. One of the challenges that I experienced was what to write about, right? Because sometimes things would flow and I'm like, oh my God, I got to write this, right? And then there are times that I would sit like, what am I going to write about? And then you get to the point, okay, you find a topic that you want to write about, Like there's a poem in there called Pandemic, strictly about how the emotions I was feeling in the pandemic. And one line that I stated was, stop saying 2020 is the worst year ever. There are a lot of great things happening in this pandemic. And I even said, I wrote this poetry book in this pandemic, so there are great things happening. Yes, we can't deny that, the death toll with COVID has risen. We can't deny that close friends and family members have passed away. But let's also balance it out and talk about the good things. And there are good things happening. And this book is one of them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Ludy, because when this happened, I mean, I'm definitely an outdoor person. So when this pandemic happened, I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? I'm always out. I'm always, capturing things live. I'm organizing events and dinners and things like that. So what am I going to do? But the birth of the Naijha Speaks actually happened during the pandemic. Like I said, okay, if I can't get to the people outside, I'm going to bring them inside and connect with them this way. And I've met so many new people doing this that it's like, it's amazing the people that I've met through this channel. I'm so grateful and thankful and blessed.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And to you too.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak on your platform. Because of this pandemic, you created this platform and here we are. So that's what I said. Let's not focus solely on the negative. Let's talk about some of the positives.
Right. I always say things happen for a reason. What ways do you think this poetry book will influence one's life? Is there something in the book you want to share with us? I know it's a bunch of poems. Talk to us about that, the influence.
I will share, I do have a poem called 6-Year-Old Eyes that I will share with you guys. And it's really the start of all this because I came to the United States at 6 years old. So I didn't know any English, I had to learn it. And I've been in the States for a very long time now. Some people, when they meet me, like I had one of my coworkers that I had shared, I wrote the poetry book and he was reading about the author. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know you were Haitian. I'm like, well, if you ask me.
Me neither.
See? Hey, I
thought Nigerian, but when it was Haiti, I was like, okay, I got it all wrong.
At the root of it, aren't we all from Africa? You know what I'm saying? So I'll play Nigerian.
Exactly.
One of my best friends, the Galsy, is Nigerian, so I'll accept that. So 6-Year-Old Eyes, I'm going to read that for you all and just to give you a little insight to me, okay? 6-Year-Old Eyes.
All right.
6-Year-Old Eyes, what do you see? I see new land in front of me. New people, new school, new teachers, new fools, new everything, but I feel old. My soul feels cold. What in the world? Where am I? 6-Year-Old ears, what do you hear? I hear noise of words I don't understand. They don't speak my native tongue. I don't understand the beat of the native drums. What in the world? Where am I? 6-Year-Old girl, what do you seek? What do you speak? You don't understand them and they don't understand you. 6-Year-Old girl lost and found, brace yourself. You will be found. I am here. I've learned their language. I've mastered their schools. Now let me master you. Thank you.
Wow. How does that poem make you feel when you're writing it and when you just read it?
I have a lot of different emotions because every word in there speaks to a point. Because I didn't know anyone, you have to make new friends, new schools, teachers, everything is new. So even in one line, so I went to Rutgers, you mentioned that. Hello to all my Rutgers people. I went to Rutgers in New
Shout
Brunswick.
out to Rutgers.
Hey, Rutgers. I went to Rutgers in New Brunswick. I went to Irvington High School. Shout out to all my Irvington High people. Irvington, New Jersey in the house. So learning the language, it wasn't easy, but I was a big fan of music. Music is also my love. So maybe one day I'll drop a record on y'all with some of my singing.
Do it.
But I love music as well. And now I used to tape, I'm probably dating myself when I say I used to record on a tape, right? Recorder. I would tape music and play it back to listen to the words, to also sing along with the words, watch Sesame Street, watch music videos. And then eventually, and going to school and just hearing, it's a repetition. And then going all the way to Rutgers. And then when I came to Georgia, I finished my master's degree in human resources. And that's why I said in one of the lines, I've learned their language. I've went to their schools. I've mastered, So now I want to master me, the little girl inside of me, just to let her know you did it. It's going to be okay.
Nice. I got my mom here, Fred and Abby. That's my mom, everyone, tuning in from the Bronx, New York. Thank you. She said, thank you, Ludy, for your truth. She felt it. I felt it too. I was in tears. I was like, that's why I had to blow you up because I was back here like this.
Thank you so much.
On the spotlight.
Thank you so much. And it's interesting that you would say you felt it too, because I've been getting reviews from friends. One friend of mine, I won't say her name because I don't want to put her on blast, but she said she read some of the poems and she was crying because one poem is called Beloved. It's about my grandmother. And she thought of her mom, and my other friend thought of her dad. There's another poem on there called Forgotten. When I wrote the poem, I was writing it from one aspect, but when the reader reads it, they're pulling it in and making it theirs. And that has been the biggest accomplishment to me, to know that you guys, the readers, are making it your own, and I feel so proud because when I wrote each poem, it came from me, but everyone has told me their feelings, what they pulled from it. So thank you guys for going on this journey with me as well.
And I think that's important when you're doing any type of artistry, writing, singing, whatever it is that it's pulling from you. Even comedy, if you think of the best comics, they're pulling from their own life's experiences and telling their story, because that's what people want to hear. They want to hear about you. They want to hear about what you've been through, because if you've been through something, 9 times out of 10, whoever's reading or listening has been through something similar or the same thing. And it's very touching. And talking about that, who is your ideal audience? Is there a target audience that you've written this poetry book for?
I thought about that, and I can honestly say it's for everyone. Like yesterday, I was texting one of my friends in Florida. Her daughter is my goddaughter, and they were both reading Wilderness together. So I think this poetry book is for everyone. There is no age limitation. There isn't topics, or it isn't written that you're like, oh, my kids can't see this. You can read it with your children. So there isn't a age group, and I'm happy, and it makes me proud to know that she was reading it with her daughter, and I'm like, okay, I even shared it with my in-laws, so they've read it. I'm excited. So there is no age group. There is no age limit, and I'm very proud of that. Like, I can share that with Dylan. I can share it with Lyric and have them read it. One of my cousins, shout out to Daniela, she said, 6-year-old eyes, I would love to see you read it and have Lyric read the versions of the 6-year-old. Although she's 7, but you right?
Yeah.
So every time someone reads, they pull away from it. And I'm like, wow, I'm blown away, because I didn't write it for that purpose, but they pulled away something. And I will tell you, 3 of the poems in there, I won't give away which 3, but the 3 poems are about a thing. So good luck guessing which one, because some people think
Okay.
the poem is about a person, but in fact, it's about a thing. So it's 3 of them in there. Good luck hunting.
All right, all right. Good luck, Humphrey. You should have a giveaway for that'd be a nice giveaway to or some type of raffle or prize
Absolutely,
for someone
absolutely.
to
Whoever
find. That'd be
guesses is
great.
great. Thank you, Naj.
Oh yeah,
I will do
absolutely.
that.
Because people get engaged with that. I
Yeah,
downloaded onto my Kindle. I have to get into reading the poetry book myself, but it is downloaded on my Kindle and it is
thank
available
you.
there. So
Thank you.
again, everyone can get the book on Amazon. Also, as I mentioned earlier, I am executive director of the Black Vegetarian Society of Maryland, and we do have an Amazon Smile account. So if you're going to purchase the book, we have listed it on our suggested reading, and Amazon will give us a teeny little bit of proceeds if you purchase it from Amazon Smile and choose
Every
Black
little bit
Vegetarian
counts,
Society of
honey.
Maryland. So that helps with the
Every bit counts.
nonprofit as well. And I um the how are you navigating your professional career, because you've got promoted, if I remember from your posts, you've been promoted, and also these new ambitions that you have with writing. How are you navigating during this pandemic?
Well, I'm working from home. The kids are digital learning, so it is a balancing act, And I think also this poetry book was birthed through that, for me to find some type of balance for myself. And I know a lot of people are going through the same thing with their children
Yes.
being home, they're
Yes.
working from home. So it's not easy. It's not easy. And I tell everyone, you have to find something that you are passionate about, that you didn't make time for before. Try to make time for it now. I have a great support system. Like I said, my husband's here, my parents are here, my brothers are here. Shout out to Mike and Eddie. So I have a great support system that helps me. So I can't say that I'm doing it all alone, but it is a challenge, but one that I welcome, and I'm looking forward to what the rest of this year brings. And like I said, let's stop saying 2020 is the worst year, because we're alive, we're here. Let's be happy, right?
And we're breathing. And some people are not, and some people are going through different situations because of the pandemic. So you're right about that. And having a support system is really important. And anyone that has that is blessed, because there are people that don't have anyone right now and are
Absolutely.
struggling. They're alone. So sending, prayers and blessings out to those folks that are really going through challenges during this pandemic and have lost loved ones.
And speaking of
How
that,
best
Naj,
can the
I,
viewers
I,
connect with you on social? Yes, go ahead, Ludy.
I was going to say, speaking of that, what you just touched on, I think we should also speak about grief and mental health, that people should look for a therapist or a counselor. If you're looking for one in particular, my cousin Jula Prevalon is one. You could check her out, julaprevalon.com. She's a therapist and a counselor, a life coach. So I think it's important for people to feel that they're not alone. We are all experiencing some type of anxiety. The COVID is still here, right?
Yes.
It's still, and we need to find an outlet. It might not be your loved one or your spouse, but please don't feel like you're alone. We don't want people to neglect their mental health or going through the grieving process by themselves. One of my closest friends lost her mom recently, and my heart goes out to her and her family. Anyone that has lost someone, my heart goes out to you all. But please, seek professional help if you need it. You're not alone in this. We are all going through this.
Do you think anyone having gone through whatever challenge or trauma, this would be a good time to keep a diary, or maybe do something poetic, and to maybe they may release their own poetry book or something, or just to write it down, and that could be therapeutic? Would you recommend something like that?
Absolutely. One of my other girlfriends, Kathy, she is a amazing, amazing poet. Like, I look up to her. That's how great she is, okay? And with me putting out this book, she is now on her journey of writing her book. So I'm helping her through everything because I've gone through it. And I think that's what all of us should do. If we've already been through the experience and we have others around us that have been afraid or didn't know what to do, let's help them along. You know, I have to always give a shout out to Karima because I'm constantly texting her, asking her questions because she has 5 books out, you know, so I'm gonna do a plug for her. Let me run real quick and get her book knowledge. And I think you should invite her.
No problem. Oh, absolutely. And while Ludy is doing that, you know, sisters supporting sisters and uplifting sisters is very important. I mean, you know, The Healer's Purse, that's her book.
That's her book, and I think you and her would have great conversations. You might want to invite her. I'll plug you guys together. But I say all this to say
yes,
this
please.
Is about remedy. And, you know, when you were talking about writing things down and should we write poetry, and I think everyone should know poetry is what you are. It doesn't have to be what someone else is. You are your own art. You are your own poet. Whatever comes out of your mouth, express yourself because it's you. So yes, keep a diary, keep a journal, because when you look back, you can see like, oh my God, I've grown. I've come out of that storm. So it's important for us to get whatever is inside of us that might be a dark cloud or negativity, get it out. If you don't want to share with a therapist or you don't want to go see someone, that would be a great way to do it.
Thank you for that, Ludy. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments so we can Ludy can answer your questions about poetry or anything else that you need questions answered to. Ludy, your Instagram or any website page, do you have that information so I can put that into the comments?
Sure. My Instagram is Ludy.Wooten, just my name, LUDY.WOOTEN. So Ludy at Ludy.Wooten. And you can find me on Facebook, Ludy Wooten. And Naj, you've given them the link for the book.
Yes. Okay, Ludy Wooten IG and Ludy Wooten on Facebook. Awesome. What is the best tip or piece of advice that you would like to leave the viewers with? Anything that you can think of, because I know you said a lot of good things just now, but anything that is really important that when we're signing off, you want to make sure that the viewers have this information.
I would say whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, that you've been holding off on, or you were too afraid to do, fear will cripple you. Fear will keep you from doing what you don't know. Because I didn't know what this book was going to do or if people would be interested. But I got that push and the pandemic helped it. So if you have anything inside of you that you would like to do, this is the best time to do it. Don't hold off. Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. And if you have something, reach out to support groups, find a mentor, look for people in that same arena and reach out to them. Like even you, Naj, like congratulations on Naijha Speaks. I would like to do a YouTube channel and I'll definitely be reaching out to you because you've already been doing it. So there are people that are in that field doing it and I want to respect their growth. So I want anyone out here, this is what fear looks like, you know, the other side of fear. So stop being comfortable, get out your comfort zone and grow.
You sound like me. You sound like me when you said, I'm always talking about step outside your comfort zone. And you can always learn. You never stop learning. I don't care how old you are. I discovered during my YouTube research and classroom learning, when I say classroom, you know, when you go and join new master classes, I discovered Ralph Smart of Infinite Waters. You know, he happens to be vegan, but he's also an inspirational speaker and a psychologist. And he has uplifted me with his video. So I'm following him now and it's just amazing. Wow. He has like millions of viewers. So it's very, very important to have some type of inspiration whether it's reading, watching a video, listening to music or podcasts or whatever to get you out of your comfort zone. Do you start your morning with any form of inspiration?
Actually, that wilderness poem that you played earlier, that's my morning. I walk through my backyard before everyone gets up, before the children gets up. That's how I start my morning, just to be out in nature and to take that fresh air and be thankful, right? I'm alive. I woke up. And just go on that walk, because I will tell you, Naj, this pandemic, I've been eating bad. So I had to get and I know y'all and the viewers, y'all
You're
know.
not by yourself. You're not by yourself. I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, so that's how I start my morning. I go for my morning walks, and my girlfriend, Nikki Ngalzi, the Nigerian that I was telling you about, we had a challenge to help one another, because you need an accountability partner, right, to keep you going. So we're always checking on each other on our steps. Are you doing your steps? What are you doing? What are you getting into? So, that's the other part of the pandemic. We all have gotten comfortable, and we don't have to go to work, so we're wearing our sweats and our
You used to work out a lot.
Yeah. So
right. And you used to work out a lot. I remember you at work. You was always in the gym. I actually lost 10 pounds during this pandemic. I was like motivated. Like as soon as I had nothing else to do but to work out virtually with, the fitness so I actually lost weight.
And that's the flip end too. Other people were like, okay, I got to figure it out. What am I going to do? I'm going to work out. So it's all a mindset. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want out of this? So go for it.
Well, here we have it. You're listening to Ludy Wooten, the author of Intimately Speaking. So make sure you go on Amazon and download it to your Kindle, or purchase the hard copy or soft copy, purchase the copy, and start speaking intimately yourselves through poetry. Write it down. I appreciate you coming on, Ludy. Folks, subscribe, like, comment on NaijhaSpeaks.com. I appreciate you tuning in. If there's anything else you want to add, Ludy, this is the time, because we'll be signing off again. Great job. I commend you for everything, and I'm just lucky and happy to know you.
Thank you again, Naj, for inviting me. Thank you for having this platform. So blessed to have you and Greg as part of our family. When we left Baltimore, we came to visit you guys, and you blessed us with a donation. You didn't have to, so you guys will forever be in our hearts. Great family, and I'm so proud of you. And Naj Speaks. Let's make this pandemic go crazy, okay?
All right, Luke. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and please be well and safe. Have a good night.
Good night, all.